Anisha, my next question right before this hearing just begins is to both of you. We're all women here that are discussing a case pertaining to a woman at this given point, justice for a woman here that we're all discussing. Just to understand one thing, and first Anisha, I'll come to you for your response, and Nalini, the same question goes to you as well. The High Court verdict that had come out in the Unnao rape case, and just as Nalini was mentioning, it's important to understand what happens in the interim. Was there a certain amount of haste? And your years of experience covering the legal sector itself, would you say there was a certain sense of haste, or were the justifications given by the High Court for each of its order or for each of its mandates in the order, were they convincing enough? Anisha, starting with you.
I'm not entirely sure how to answer your question. Of course, there was a sense of anger when this matter came out. The way this case happened, I've been covering the Supreme Court for several years now. 2019, when this matter was suo moto taken up by the Supreme Court, if you would remember this, Nalini would remember this. I think she was also there in the Supreme Court with me. This victim came to the Supreme Court. The court took this matter after news reports regarding how her family was attacked, her father was killed while in custody, her lawyer lost his life in an accident. Several members of her family were attacked. It took us several weeks of arguments in the Supreme Court. The court had to order protection. The court had to order CBI.
Interrupt you there for a second. The top court begins the hearing in Sengar's case is what we are learning at this very point, viewers. The hearing that we've all been awaiting for days now has now begun in the apex court, in the Supreme Court of the country. That is the Kuldeep Singh Sengar bail case in the Unnao rape case that we are looking at this point of time. CBI counsel has come out to say that it is a horrific case that we are dealing with here, that we are hearing at this point. So this is the latest that we are bringing to you, the latest update from the Supreme Court that we're bringing to you. The hearing has begun. We are keeping a very close watch here as to what is happening there inside the courtroom. What is it that the CBI has to say, challenging the very bail verdict of the Delhi High Court, and what is it that the Supreme Court, the CJI-led bench, decides into this very matter at this point. But the hearing has begun is what we are learning. Nalini, quickly coming to you for a response on this.
Yes, the latest update is that the hearing has begun before the Supreme Court, and like we told our viewers earlier, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, who is leading the arguments on behalf of the CBI before the three-judge bench headed by CJI Surya Kant. Basically, what Tushar Mehta is telling the Supreme Court three-judge bench is that this is a very horrific case. He's also referring to the order of the trial court that had convicted Kuldeep Singh Sengar in the IPC as well as the POCSO Act. He's saying that the charges were framed under Section 376 of the IPC, which essentially dealt with punishment of rape, as well as POCSO Act, which dealt with aggravated sexual assault by a public servant. And the Solicitor General also goes on to say that when conviction is recorded, it's done under 2 counts, and he's referring to the order of conviction while giving these details. He's taking the court through the trial court order that had convicted Kuldeep Singh Sengar in the first place. He says that the order says that the prosecution has been able to prove Sengar's guilt for the offense of rape under IPC and under POCSO. The child was less than 16 years. This was a finding that has been recorded in the trial court order, and the appeal against it is pending before the Delhi High Court, which is also something we told our viewers earlier. We don't know how much time it will take for the appeal to be decided, but it's something that's pending before the High Court. The Solicitor General also goes on to say, and these are updates that Shrishti Ojha from inside the court, our colleague, is bringing us, that this is a horrific case, which is why it's important for the Supreme Court to step in. There is a finding of the trial that the child was only minor. She was barely 15 to 16 years old when the entire crime had occurred, and a conviction has been given by the trial court after looking into all the facts and circumstances of the case, after examining all the witnesses, after going through the entire evidence. The trial court, after painstaking effort, had decided and given the verdict where Kuldeep Singh Sengar was held guilty not only of rape under the Indian Penal Code, but also of offences against children under the POCSO Act. And at that time, the sentencing, the trial court convicted the accused undisputably the punishment, the maximum punishment that was granted to him in this was life sentence. We're also given to understand that it's going to be Advocate Hariharan who is going to be appearing for Kuldeep Singh Sengar before the Supreme Court. But first, of course, CBI is going to place its detailed arguments. So far, no major observations have come in from the bench itself. We'll be watching out for that. That's going to be crucial to see what kind of observations the bench has to say, and also what kind of arguments are going to be placed by Senior Advocate Hariharan, who's going to be appearing for Kuldeep Singh Sengar. But as of now, getting you the latest update, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta making out the CBI's case before the three-judge bench, going through the trial court order that had convicted Kuldeep Singh Sengar, talking about how he had been convicted not only of rape under the IPC, but also offences under the POCSO Act. And there is also one section about aggravated form of rape, where the punishment is minimum 20 years and can go up to a biological life. All of these arguments are being made by Solicitor General Tushar Mehta before the Supreme Court, and further updates are awaited on what the Supreme Court will do in this entire case. Shreya, back to you in the studio.
Right, Nalini. Yes, there is more coming in at this given point from the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta as well. He has said that 375 is a rape definition and he's convicted of rape, no doubt. And that 376, section 376 has two parts. All of this, if 376 says that if you are convicted under 376 part 1, you have a minimum of 7 years and maximum of 10 years. And there's also one section about aggravated rape in it, where the sentence is, the punishment is minimum 20 years and can go up to your biological life, which is what Nalini was pointing out at.